Everyone. Good morning, Doc. Good morning, colleagues. I will be presenting the strategy and strategic management for this morning. Actually, this particular topic assigned to Group 4. So, ako lang yung nauna. So, definitely, may mga subtopics na pwede kong ma-discuss dito sa discussion ko, i-discuss in detail ng mga group mates ko. So, to start with, So, what do we expect from this discussion po? The first one, we will be able to define what strategic management is, the competitive advantage. We also have here the strategy and the strategic intent, the levels of strategy, and the last one is the strategic management process. So before I proceed, I just want to share a quotation from Greg Reed. It says that a dream written down with a date becomes a goal broken down into steps becomes a plan, and the plan backed by action makes your dreams come true. So, kung mapapansin natin dito sa quotation na i-share ko, parang umiikot din dito yung topic na i-discuss ko ngayong umaga po. So, first bago tayo mag-arrive sa plan, kinakailangan nating magkaroon syempre ng goal. And then out of that goal, doon tayo magsisimula kung anong planong gagawin natin. And then paano ba natin ma-achieve yung dream natin or your desired output natin? Syempre, yung plano natin, lalagyan natin ng action. Okay? Ayan. So dito na po tayo sa main topic natin. Okay, so first we have to, I will differentiate what strategy and strategic management is. So when we talk about strategy and strategic management, we just have to have just two words in mind. It is a plan and a process. So bakit plan and process? Kasi basically, strategy is a plan of action or policy designed to achieve a major or overall aim. It is also defined as a general direction set for the company and its various components to achieve a desired state in the future. So, based on the definition, strategy is just a plan. So it is a basis of our strategic management. Most of the time, the phrase strategic management is sometimes used as synonym for strategy, but the two terms are not actually the same. So as we can see in the presentation, strategy is basically a plan, while the strategic management is a process for formulating and implementing a strategy. So they are independent with each other, because without a strategy, there will be no strategic management. Di po ba? So, nakadepende po sa strategic management kay strategy. Another definition for strategic management is that it is an ongoing planning, monitoring, analysis, and assessment of all necessities an organization needs to meet its goals and objective. So this strategic management can change the business environment, and it will require organizations to constantly assess their strategies for success. Strategic management also helps organizations take stock of their present situation, chalk out strategies, deploy them, and analyze the effectiveness of the implemented management strategies. So, what are the benefits of the strategic management? Generally, it was thought to have financial and non-financial benefits. So a strategic management process helps an organization and its leadership to think about the plan for its future existence. One of the benefits also is that it sets a direction for the organization and its employees. Unlike the once and done strategic plans, effective strategic management continuously plans, monitors, as what I had said earlier, and tests an organization's activities, resulting in great operational efficiency, market share, and profitability. So it is also based on organization's clear understanding of its mission, its vision for where it wants to be in the future, and the values that will guide its actions. So the process requires a commitment to strategic planning. So strategic planning is nakaangkla pa rin sa strategic management process. So strategic planning is a subset of business management that involves an organization's ability to set both short and long-term goals. Okay. So in strategic management, we have 5 stages that can be used as a basis or as a reference in order to carry out the process. The first one is assessing the organization's current strategic direction. Saan ba pupunta or ano ba yung gustong patunguhan ng organization natin? Identify and analyze internal and external strengths and weaknesses. Doon ba sa gustong puntahan ng opisina natin or ng agency natin, kakayanin ba ng mga internal and external forces considering the strengths and weaknesses noong dalawang forces na yun? The third phase or the third stage is the formulating action plans. The next is executing the action plans. And the last one is the evaluation, to what degree action plans have been successful, and making changes when desired results are not being produced. So, these 5 stages, ito yung tinatawag natin from end to end. The first procedure to be taken and the last one depending on the output of depending on the result of the management process that we had carried out. So it is important in the strategic management process that effective communication, data collection, and organizational culture are present, especially at large or complex companies. Because lack of communication and a negative corporate culture can result in a misalignment of the organization's strategic management plan and the activities undertaken by its various business units and departments. So, from our previous discussions, alam naman natin na si effective communication is very important when it comes to management, because without that communication, the correct communication process, our planning will be put in vain. So, thus, strategy management includes analyzing cross-functional business decisions prior to implementing them to ensure they are aligned with strategic plans. So, paano ba natin malalaman if our strategy is aligned with our plan? So, taking for example the currently our ongoing initiative, the GSIS ongoing initiative on the pilot testing of one of the application that will soon be rolled out to the member and pensioner of the GSIS. As of now, the management and the IT group specifically formulate or or carried out an initiative on the enhancement of the GSIS Touch. I just don't know kung meron dito sa platform na government employee na naka-register na or gumagamit na ng EGSIS mo. If meron na pong gumagamit ng EGSIS mo, the management plan to enhance the application by adding some features for pensioners and enhancing the features for the members, enhancing the existing features for the members. So to ensure that the plan will be a successful one, we have first carried out a pilot testing. So before na i-roll out siya sa marami and malaman if ever na kapag nagsabay-sabay na gumamit ng mobile phone, kasi GSIS Touch is a mobile application. Kapag nagkasabay-sabay na gumamit ng application ang mga employees and ay mga members and pensioners of GSIS, ano ba yung posibleng maging effect sa system? So para malaman yun, meron kaming pilot testing. We have at least 500 participants in the pilot testing that every 4 o'clock ng hapon, magkakasabay kaming maglalagin doon system para malaman kung ano yung magiging response, kung kakayanin ba ng technology ng GSIS kapag nagkasabay-sabay ang maraming tao sa pag-access. So in that way, doon sa pilot testing pa lang na yun, nalalaman na ano ba yung nagiging effect. Ano ba yung nagiging effect doon sa system or doon sa ginagamit na program ng GSIS kapag nagkasabay-sabay. So once na ma-detect nila or nagkaroon ng reaction doon sa ginagamit nilang program, nagagawan agad nila ng paraan. So ginagawa namin yun at ini-ensure nila na magiging maganda yung takbo kahit magkasabay-sabay na, para once na ni-roll out sa public, magiging successful yung initiative na yun. So yun yung isa sa mga strategy ng GSIS management para ma-check kung yung bang plano na yun, kung yung bang strategic plan na yun ay magiging successful at naka-align pa rin dun sa Hello, sorry po. Naka-align pa rin doon sa management mission regarding doon sa services na yon, sa service na yon. Sorry po, maraming interruption. Okay ba? The next one is we have the competitive advantage. So what is this competitive advantage in strategic management? Kung natatandaan po natin, kung hindi ako nagkakamali, parang sa diniscuss ito ni Sir Dranreb, about benchmarking. So basically, this competitive advantage is about benchmarking din. Bakit po natin nasabi na about benchmarking din? Kasi this competitive advantage refers to factors that allow a company to produce goods or services better or more cheaply than its rivals. So paano ba tayo makakapag-produce ng goods at makakapag-deliver ng service which is much better than our rival? So syempre gagamit tayo ng benchmarking. Ano ba yung meron sila? Ano ba yung meron sila na pwede ko pang i-enhance? Ano ba yung meron sila na pwede ko pang i-develop para mas maganda yung product ko or para mas maganda yung service ko na i-cater para sa aking mga target market? So basically, competitive advantage is benchmarking. So these factors allow the productive entity to generate more sales or superior margins compared to its market rivals. So competitive advantage also refers to an advantage availed by a company who has remained successful in outdoing its competitors belonging to the same industry by designing and implementing effective strategies and allows the same in offering quality goods or services, quoting reasonable prices to its customers, maximizing the wealth of its stakeholders and so on, and as a result of which the company is able to make more profits. So sinasabi, competitive advantage is not something that can be vested. Rather, it can only be earned through hard work, dedication, and ethical performance of an organization. It is not come easy, and an organization might need to dedicate years and sometimes decades in earning this advantage over its arch rivals belonging to the same industry. So the key to earning it is excellent and ethical performance, and the same cannot be earned through degrading or defaming rival companies operating in the same domain. So, yun daw po. So, hindi natin pwedeng ma-defeat yung mga kalaban natin or yung mga kakompetensya natin by just defaming them or degrading their companies. So, kinakailangan ng pagpaplano, kailangan ng maayos na management para magkaroon tayo ng competitive advantage over our arch rivals. So we have here the three types of competitive advantage. The first one is the cost advantage. So this is a type where similar products can be sold at lower prices. So alam naman natin na if there are similar products na binibenta sa market, mas nabibenta or mas binibili ng mga consumers yung lower ang price kesa doon sa higher one. Here, the company chooses to sell its products or services at a price similar to its competitors, but at the same time, it will reap higher profit margins due to lower cost of production. So, kapag lower ang cost ng production, meron tayong advantage to lower din yung cost ng ating product. Or if ever na i-level natin doon sa cost ng product ng ating competitor, at least alam natin na mas malaki yung profit margin natin because the production cost is lower. So the second one is the differentiation advantage. So this type can only be achieved by means of offering products or services that are unique, and thus the companies can charge an exclusive price for providing such products or services. Meron po bang pwedeng sumagot dito sa platform kung ano yung pinaka-the best example for this differentiation advantage? Anyone po who has an idea? Naririnig niyo pa po ako? Hello po? Naririnig pa po ako?
Yes po.
Akala ko nawala na ako. Okay po. So, Hala. Hindi po. So dito sa differentiation advantage, isa sa pinaka-the best example na naisip ko po is the difference between the iPhone and the Android phone. So, since dito sa differentiation advantage, this is specifically note that yung products in this advantage, yung product or service ay mayroong unique property. So ano po ba yung uniqueness ni iPhone at saka ni Android phone? So dun sa kanilang operating system, di po ba? So si iPhone is ano pong ginagamit na OS, the Apple, and then the Android phone, siyempre si Android. Ay, ano bang ginagamit na OS ni Android phone? Hindi ako masyadong...
Android.
Ayun, Android po. Kaya nga Android. iPhone at saka Android. Okay. So, hindi ko lang po sure kung tama ito, pero ang isa sa nakita kong uniqueness is the Apple ecosystem of the iPhone. Unlike po ni Android na parang prone siya sa maraming threats. Prone siya sa threats kasi hindi yung kanyang ecosystem ay unlike ni iPhone na talagang exclusive lang siya para dun sa Apple ecosystem na wala kang ibang pwedeng ipasok ng mga applications na hindi galing kay Apple. Yun po yung isang naisip ko sa differentiation advantage. So unique siya in that sense. Unique si iPhone in that sense. So ano po?
Ma'am Jermaine?
Yes, Sir Felix.
Oo. Yung example ko ng differentiation advantage, ma'am, ay yung TV natin. So,
Okay, sir.
Yung black and white TV po, na kung saan, makita mo yung tao, ang kulay ay puti at saka itim. And then, pagkalipas po ng ilang taon, nagkaroon po tayo ng high definition TV, yung po sinasabi po nilang LED TV, na kung saan napakaganda po ng kulay, ang ganda po ng mga pictures, yung mga talagang kuha ng mga items nandun sa loob, ay talagang napakaganda. And then pagkatapos po ng ilang taon ulit, pinalitan na po ngayon ng Smart TV. Ano po ba yung Smart TV? Na kung saan po yung pong mga nandoon sa ating mga cellphone ay po pwede na rin po nandoon sa ating mga Smart TV. So, ibig sabihin, yung TV po na Smart TV po ay internet ready na po siya. Mayroon na po siyang YouTube, mayroon siyang Facebook. So, nagkaroon po ng progression from doon sa hindi masyadong maganda, pinaganda, and then lalong gumanda po, yun yung Smart TV. So yun po yung, para example po ng differentiation advantage po nung ating pinag-uusapan ngayong umaga. Thank you po.
Ayan, sir. Thank you, Sir Felix, for that insight. So, very well said po. So, nakita natin kung ano yung uniqueness ng isang product as compared doon sa previous product na nasa market. So that is differentiation advantage. The third advantage is the comparative advantage. So it can be defined as the ability of an organization to effectively produce goods or services better than as compared to its competitors. And this ultimately results from higher profit margins for the company and ultimately paves way for the company to earn a comparative advantage. So, kung mapapansin po natin dun sa shinare ni Sir Felix, pwede rin po natin gawing example yung shinare ni Sir Felix kanina pagdating dito sa comparative advantage. Kasi po dito sa comparative advantage, kino-compare natin yung product natin kung ano yung from what is existing from the market, ano yung kanyang mga features and characteristics na mas better kaysa doon sa existing sa market sa ngayon. So yun po yung tinatawag nating comparative advantage.
Ma'am, can I butt in, ma'am? Sa
Yes, sir.
advantage? Opo.
Yes po, all the time.
Sa comparative advantage po sa aking sariling kuro-kuro po, kung inyo pong maalala yung Industrial Revolution, ikumpara po natin ngayon dito sa Digital Revolution. Kung noon po, no Industrial Revolution, tayo po ay nag-employ ng madaming tao para makapag-produce tayo ng napakarami pong mga goods and services. Pero this time po, lesser po yung tao pero gumagamit po tayo ng mga technology, mga machine. Yung dati po nating produce na 100, ngayon po mag-i-increase into 1,000 of goods. So yun po yung comparative advantage po. Yung po nung nakaraan, meron po Industrial Revolution compared to Digital Revolution with the use of machine and computers po. Thank you.
Ayan, again, thank you, Sir Felix. So let's go to the next slide. The benefits, how competitive advantage works. So to create a competitive advantage, you've got to be clear about these three determinants. The first one is, what benefits does your company provide? So in this first determinant, you should know what is the real benefit your product provides. Ano ba yung ini-offer or ano ba yung benefit ng product na ini-offer mo? It must be something that your customers truly need. It must also offer real value. You must know your product's features, its advantages, and how they benefit your customers. You must stay up to date on the new trends and affect your product, which includes new technology. So yun yung unang determinant natin para maging competitive, para magkaroon tayo ng competitive advantage over our rivals. The second one is to determine your target market. Who are your customers? Sino ba ang pupuntahin ko mga customer ng product na i-offer ko? What are their needs? You've got to know exactly who buys from you and how you can make their life better. That's how you create demand, the driver of all economic growth. Ayan. For example, dito in determining your target market, yung sa newspaper na lang natin. Sino ba ang target ng mga newspapers natin? Di po ba yung mga older people who weren't comfortable getting their news online? So yun, kinakailangan po in this particular determinant, you would be able to know who your customers are. Kanino ko ba i-offer ang product na to? And then the last one, the last determinant is to identify your competitors. Have you identified your real competitors? So in identifying our competitors, kinakailangan daw na hindi raw po mag-focus lang doon sa mga competitors natin na may similar line of business na meron tayo. Kumbaga po na may similar product na meron tayong ini-offer. Kinakailangan din po nating tingnan kinakailangan din po nating tingnan or isama yung anything else that your customer could do to meet the need you can fulfill. So, bumalik po tayo dun sa example kanina na newspaper. Po ba, dun sa newspaper, ang target market nila is the older people. Kasi, yung mga older people ang ayaw nilang kumuha ng news over internet. Pero, hindi nila na-foresee na ang pinakamalaki pala nilang competitor dito is hindi yung mga other newspapers company. Atensya natin na may linya ng business na katulad natin, kundi ano pa ba yung mga kinakailangan ng target market natin aside doon sa mga ini-offer ng mga existing competitors natin. So they didn't know how to compete with the news provided that was instant and free. So dito rin po sa identify your competitors, isa rin po sa pinakamagandang example siguro dito is yung sa construction firm. Ano po? Actually, dito sa competitive advantage, magandang example si construction firm. So, since unang-una kinakailangan nating malaman, ano ba yung benefit na ipoprovide natin sa sa magiging customer natin? Sino ba yung mga target market natin? At saka, sino yung mga kakompetensya natin? So, yung nasa sa construction business, ito po yung isa sa pinakamagandang example dito sa determinants in creating a competitive advantage. Okay po. So ano po ba yung mga examples ng competitive advantage o para magkaroon tayo ng competitive advantage? So unang-una, dapat meron tayong high-skilled workforce. Kasi po kung wala tayong high-skilled workforce, paano po natin maa-attain yung product o yung service na gugustuhin natin na i-cater or i-deliver or i-offer sa ating mga customers kung ang workforce natin ay hindi masusustinahan yung requirement natin for our quality goods and products. Then we also have the gaining exclusive access to resources, access to new technologies, and the access to proprietary technologies. So, kung meron po tayo niyang ganyan, kung meron tayo nitong tatlong ito na exclusive access to these three, sigurado po na meron tayong competitive advantage over our competitors. So, kung meron din po tayong cost leadership strategy, parang madidiscuss po ito dito sa strategic intent. So, kung meron po tayong cost leadership strategy, meron po tayong competitive advantage over our competitors. And offering unique products or services and recognition of brand image. With this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, with these 7 examples of competitive advantage, if ever po na ang organization natin or ang company natin ay meron itong 7 ito, definitely po, we are on the right track and we can sustain that competitive advantage our company has. Next. Then we do have the strategic intent. Nawala. Okay. So what is strategic intent? And strategic intent is the overall direction of a organization's strategy. So it can be understood as the philosophical base of the strategic management process. It implies the purpose which an organization endeavor of achieving. It is a statement that provides a perspective of the means which will lead the organization reach the vision in the long run. So it also gives an idea of what the organization desires to attain in the future. It answers the question what the organization strives or stands for. And it indicates the long-term market position which the organization desires to create or occupy and the opportunity for exploring new possibilities. So as you can see in the slide, we have here the strategic intent hierarchy. So from our previous topics, alam naman natin na ang lahat ng ating pagpaplano, lahat ng ating pagmamanage sa isang negosyo, sa isang business, sa isang agency, sa isang corporation or sa anumang organization ay nakaangkla sa ating vision. So ano ba yung vision na tinatawag? So vision implies the blueprint of the company's future position. It describes where the organization wants to land. It is the dream of the business and inspiration based from the planning process. And it depicts the company's aspirations from the business and provides a peep of what the organization would like to become in the future. So kung titingnan natin yung figure, magsisimula tayo dun sa vision, dun sa pinakamaliit na nasa sentro. So ano ba yung vision ng company natin? Ano ba yung gusto nating ma-attain in a long run? Ano ba yung gusto nating ma-attain after 5 years or after 10 years? So taking for example the GSIS vision is by 2022, kasi hindi pa po ito napapalitan dahil hindi pa nagpapalit ulit ng president. So by 2022, GSIS will have a longer actuarial life with sustained member benefits and responsive service to its stakeholders. So yun yung vision ni GSIS. So paano ko ba maa-attain yung vision na yun? So dapat for every vision, meron siyang kapartner na mission. Ano ba si mission? Mission delineates the firm's business, its goals and ways to reach the goals. It explains the reason for the existence of the business. So bakit ba tayo nandirito? Ano yung mission natin? Bakit tayo nandirito? It is designed to help potential shareholders and investors understand the purpose of the company. So since shinare ko na sa inyo kanina yung vision ng GSIS, isi-share ko naman sa inyo yung mission niya. So GSIS commits to provide social security or insurance and financial benefits to all government employees and their dependents, and also to maintain and strengthen the viability of the fund. So ilan lang yan sa mga missions ng GSIS. So dun sa vision, ang vision is gustong magkaroon ng longer actuarial life na pang-sustain sa members' benefits. And ang mission, nakaangkla sa vision na kinomit ni GSIS na makakapag-provide siya ng social security, insurance, and financial benefits to all government employees and their dependents. So magkakaangkla po siya. So meron na tayong mission at saka vision. The next one is the business definition. It seeks to explain the business undertaken by the firm with respect to customer needs, target audience, and alternative technologies. So ano ba, kapag i-define mo si GSIS, ano ba siyang klase? So kung i-define natin si GSIS, GSIS is a pension fund. Okay po. So moving forward, the number 3 is the business model. This business model, as the name implies, is a strategy for the effective operation of the business, ascertaining sources of income, desired customer base, and financing details. So, si business model natin, kung mapapansin natin, naka-anchor siya doon sa mission natin. So, technically, si business model, naka-anchor siya doon sa number 2, naka-anchor siya doon sa business definition, sa mission, at saka sa vision. So, the vision, mission, business definition, and business model explains the philosophy of the business. But, when it comes to goals and objectives, these are the base of measurement. So, goals are the end results and the organization attempts to achieve. On the other hand, objectives are time-based, measurable actions, which help in the accomplishment of the goal. So these are the end result which are to be attained with the help of all overall plan over a particular period. So with the vision, the mission, the business definition, and the business model in hand, ang tinatarget natin na ma-attain or ma-achieve is our goals and objectives. So the goals and objectives are established with the purpose of achieving them. So kumbaga, reach lang natin si goals and objectives natin kung meron tayo nung apat na una. The mission, the vision, the mission, the definition, and the business model. Okay. So sinasabi that strategic intent is extremely important for the future growth and success of the enterprise, irrespective of its size and nature. So wala sa laki ng kumpanya, wala sa liit ng kumpanya ang strategic intent natin. So ang pagkakaroon ng strategic intent. So whatever size and nature na meron ang company natin or ang organization natin, definitely meron niyang strategic intent. Okay po. Now let's go to the levels of strategy. We have 3 levels of strategy. The first one is the corporate level, the business level, and the functional level. So let's discuss this one by one. Okay. The first one, the corporate level strategy, defines the business areas in which your firm will operate, or it involves integrating and managing the diverse businesses and realizing synergy at the corporate level. So, kung mapapansin natin, corporate level strategy involves the top management team in formulating the strategy. It deals with aligning the resource deployments across a diverse set of business areas, related or unrelated. Strategy formulation at its level involves integrating and managing the diverse businesses and realizing synergy at the corporate level. And yun nga po, the top management is the team who is responsible for formulating the strategies at the corporate level. So, sa level ng GSIS, itong sa corporate strategy level, ito yung ang nagpo-formulate nito or ang nag-carry out nito is the head office. Or kahit saan sigurong agency na may head office, yun, sila yung nagpo-formulate ng mga strategies na to. Kumbaga, ito yung strategy ng buong organization. Na eventually, once na formulated na nila, ikakascade na nila doon sa kanilang business level and the functional level. So once meron na tayong strategy na formulated by our top management, we will now go to the business level or it will be cascaded to the business level. So pagdating sa business level, ano po yung strategy? Ano ba yung tinatawag nating business level strategy? So it involves defining the competitive position of a strategic business unit. And it is decided upon by the heads of strategic business units and their teams. So mula sa malaking form of strategy, i-disseminate siya to a lower level. So doon sa business level, ang magpo-formulate naman ng strategy ay yun pong mga team units, mga team leaders and their units. Now, so since yung business level involves defining the competitive position of a strategic business unit, it is based upon the generic strategies of overall cost leadership, differentiation, and focus. So, since ginamit ko na ang GSIS kanina sa corporate level, which is the head office, ito namang sa business level, ito yung tinatawag naming functional group. Because the organizational chart of GSIS or the organizational presentation of GSIS composes of the head office and then the head office, then the functional groups, and then these functional groups to the branch offices. So, doon sa sinabi ko na organizational presentation, the functional group, our functional group represents the business level strategy. And then after ng functional group or after ng business level strategy, doon pa lang pumapasok si functional level. So, yung functional level in GSIS context, ito na yung mga branch offices na sila na yung nag-formulate by the functional heads along with their teams, involve setting up short-term functional objectives. So dun sa functional level strategies, it is formulated by the functional heads and then the strategies at the functional level are aligned with the business level strategies. So since yung business level strategies ang nag-cascade or nag-disseminate sa kanila ng strategy na yun yung gagamitin nilang basis para sa pag-formulate naman ng strategy at their level, at the functional level. So itong functional level na ito sa GSIS, ito yung mga branch after na malaman natin that we do have three levels of strategy, the corporate level, the business, and the functional level. Now let's go to the strategic management process. In the strategic management process, we have three processes involved. The first one is the strategic analysis. The second one is the strategy formulation. And the last one is the strategy implementation. When we talk of strategic analysis, it is defined as the process of analyzing the organization, the environment, its competitive position, and current strategies. So it also refers to the process of conducting research in a company and its operating environment to formulate a strategy. And the definition may be differ from different perspective, but the process involves several common factors. The first one is the identifying the data relevant to the company's strategy, the defining the internal and external environments to be analyzed, and using several analytic methods such as Porter's 5 forces analysis, the SWOT analysis, and the value chain analysis. I would not go deeper into this strategic analysis because this will be presented in detail by Sir Felix po, if I am not mistaken.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Opo.
So that's the first strategy. The first process in strategic management, strategic analysis. The second one is form. So this strategy defines strategies to guide allocation of resources. It is also a process of the most appropriate course of action for the realization of organizational goals and objectives, and thereby achieving organizational vision. Basically, this of strategy formulation involves 6 main steps. So, hindi ko na lang po siya isinama sa presentation. The first one is the setting organization's objective. So, sinasabi na this one is the key component of any strategy statement. It is known that strategy is generally a medium for realization of organizational objectives. Next is evaluating the organizational environment. It is the process wherein we evaluate the general economic and industrial environment in which the organization operates. So this includes a review of the organization's competitive position. It is essential to conduct a qualitative and quantitative review of an organization's existing product line. So yun yung ginagawa when evaluating the organizational environment. So the purpose of such a review is to make sure that the factors important for success in the market can be discovered, that the management can identify their own strengths and weaknesses as well as their competitors' strengths and weaknesses. So yan po yung under ng evaluation of organizational environment. Then we have also the quantitative targets. So in this step, an organization must practically fix the quantitative target values for some of the organizational objectives. So the idea is to compare with long-term customers so as the contribution that might be made by various product zones or operating departments. After setting the quantitative targets, we should aim in context with the divisional plans. So in this step, the contributions made by each department or division or product category within the organization is identified, and accordingly strategic planning is done for each sub unit. So this requires a careful analysis of macroeconomic trends. And then we do have the performance analysis. It includes discovering and analyzing the gap between the planned or desired performance. So dito sa performance analysis, this involves the critical evaluation of the organization's past performance, the present condition, and the desired future conditions that must be done by the organization. Dun sa performance analysis, meron na tayong mga comparison between the past performance, the present one, and the desired future condition. And then the last one is the choice of strategy. So it is the ultimate step in strategy formulation, or in strategy formulation rather. So the course of action is actually chosen after considering organizational goals, organizational strengths, the potential and limitations, as well as the external opportunity. So yan yung 6 main steps in the formulation of the last process in strategic management is the management or the strategy implementation. So it is defined as putting strategies into action, or the process of allocating resources and putting strategies into action. So it is also a process of turning plans to reach a desired outcome. Essentially, it is the art of getting stuff done. So ito na yung parang pinakang last phase of strategic management. The success of every organization rests on its capacity to implement, decision, and execute processes efficiently, effectively, and consistently. So that was the 3 strategic management process. These processes will be discussed in details ng mga succeeding presenters ng group namin. And to wrap up the strategic management process, ito po yung pinakang figure po niya. So, dun sa strategic analysis, dyan natin ginawa yung identifying and analyzing the mission and the stakeholders, the core values and the objectives, and also dyan natin ina-analyze yung organizational and environment ng organization and environment natin when it comes to strength and weaknesses. So what are our organizational strengths and weaknesses, and what are the environmental opportunities and threats? So dito pumapasok yung sinasabi nating SWOT analysis to be discussed by Sir Felix. Then the second process is the strategy formulation. Dito natin kini-create yung mga strategies na gagamitin natin in the implementation. So dito nangyayari yung mga revision of objectives and selecting new strategies, be it corporate strategy, business, or the functional strategy. And then yung last stage is the strategy implementation. So dito na natin ginagawa yung ating mga na plano before. So dito natin ini-implement yung strategies, yung mga management systems at saka practices na summarize natin during the formulation and the analysis the strategy. At dito natin ini-incorporate or practice yung ating strategic leadership. As an end process, dito rin natin ini-evaluate yung result ng ginawa nating pagpaplano, kung ito ba ay naging successful or hindi. And out of that, dito natin kinokontrol, dito natin kinokontrol yung mga policies and guidelines na natin. And dito natin nire-renew or bago ng mga strategic management process depende sa kinita noong mga pinlan natin before. So, di strategy implementation na. Kasi hindi naman natin kung successful yung ating ginawang estratehiya, kapag pa natin ito na-i-implement. So, with that, I'm use quotation po from Zig Ziglar. It is not your attitude, but your attitude that determines your altitude. So, hindi po porke na marami tayong yun ang magdi-determine kung tayo pupunta. So, ang pinaka-importante daw po is yung ating attitude. Pwede po may alam tayo pero hindi natin alam kung paano natin gagamitin yung kaalaman na yun para pumunta sa gusto nating patunguhan. Pwede rin naman po na marami natin alam pero wala po yung puso natin na gamitin yung kaalaman na yun para makuha kung ano yung ginugusto natin or yung purpose or yung na gusto nating i-achieve sa buhay. So, yun lang po at nawa po ay merong naintindihan konti and kung may mga katanungan po pwede niyo na pong itanong directly or pwede rin pong i-type nyo na lang po sa message box.